What if the history before the Great Flood wasn't just a tale of ancient men in changing climates, but a hidden war, a collision between heaven and earth, a story of angelic beings, forbidden desires, and the rise of monstrous giants? This is a chapter of human history not often spoken of, veiled in mystery, yet echoing through time with chilling whispers and profound warnings. Prepare to uncover the secret war before the flood. In those days, the world was utterly unlike our own. Humanity was young, vibrant, and still very close to its divine origins. Men lived extraordinarily long lives, spanning hundreds of years. Think about it, 10 full generations passed from Adam, the first man, to Noah, the builder of the ark. As humanity spread across the fertile lands, so too did its civilization flourish. Cities rose, their walls reaching for the sky. The sounds of music, both celebratory and somber, filled the air. Craftsmanship blossomed, with men forging intricate tools and building towering structures that defied the primitive. But in the shadow of this rising human civilization, something ancient, powerful, and unseen was watching. The ancient texts, particularly the cryptic Book of Genesis, refer to them as the Bene Elohim, a phrase often translated as the sons of God. They were not mortal men, and yet they walked among them. What were these beings? Where did they come from? Some say they descended from the heavens, cloaked in an ethereal light, their forms like mortals yet radiating an unearthly glow. Others describe them as warriors of flame, beings born of divine command, sent to observe the unfolding human drama, but ultimately corrupted by a deep, unforeseen desire. According to the Book of Enoch, an ancient, forbidden text shrouded in controversy and locked away from most hands for centuries, these beings were known as Watchers. They were powerful angels, appointed by the Creator to observe the earth, to guide humanity, and to maintain cosmic order. They were keepers of secrets, holders of ancient wisdom. But as they watched humanity, as they saw the beautiful, mortal, vulnerable daughters of men, a hunger began to stir within them. Not for dominion, not for power, not for the glory of heaven, but for something far more primal, far more earthly. They desired the daughters of men. Can you imagine the scene? These celestial beings, with their divine knowledge and immense power, looking down upon humanity not with stewardship, but with lust. The temptation must have been overwhelming. One by one, they descended, not as mist or shadow, but fully formed, taking on physical presence. Some legends whisper that they adopted the names of ancient kings, asserting their dominance. Others claim they ruled as gods, accepting worship from a humanity unaware of their true corrupted nature. These watchers chose wives from among the daughters of men, and it wasn't just about physical union. They taught these women strange, forbidden arts, charms that twisted natural order, potions that corrupted the body, signs and incantations that opened doorways to dark, unseen realms. A profound question arises. What must it have been like for these women, chosen by beings of such power, to bear children who were not of this world? Because the children born of these forbidden unions were not normal children. They grew at an impossible rate. They were immensely tall, their stature dwarfing ordinary men. Their strength was unmatched, their appetites monstrous, devouring the very resources of the earth. These were the Nephilim, a name often translated as the fallen ones. They became the men of renown, the heroes of old, whose legends echoed through antiquity. And in time, they became giants. The earth trembled under their colossal feet. Cities, once proud symbols of human ingenuity, bent to their will. Armies, no matter how vast or brave, cowered before their might. None could challenge them.
But their immense power brought not peace, but ruin. Their hunger was insatiable. It wasn't just for food, but for blood, for dominance, for worship, for utter control. They devoured the land, leaving desolation in their wake. They turned on each other, their monstrous strength fueling brutal wars. Some embraced sorcery, twisting the fabric of reality. The skies themselves seemed to darken under the weight of their corruption. The very soil groaned beneath the weight of their injustice. And the Watchers, their angelic fathers, who had once been guardians, stood by and did nothing. Worse, they actively participated. They taught mankind to forge powerful, destructive weapons. They revealed the secrets of manipulating the stars for divination, twisting celestial knowledge for dark purposes. They showed men how to call upon malevolent spirits, inviting unseen forces into the world. They had defied heaven itself, bringing an unspeakable corruption to the very fabric of creation. The cries of the earth rose, a chorus of agony, reaching the highest heavens. The blood of men stained the ground, a constant, horrifying testament to the Nephilim's reign. Mothers wept, their tears mingling with the tainted soil. The old trembled in fear, their wisdom silenced by terror. Even the animals, once living in harmony, turned savage, mirroring the violence of man. Nature itself recoiled, broken and disfigured by what it had become. And high above, in the unseen realms, God watched. Not with surprise, for nothing is hidden from him, but with an immense, profound sorrow. Can you grasp the depth of that divine grief? The creation he once called good, perfect, and harmonious was now unraveling, peace, agonizing peace. And the root cause was not solely man's wickedness, though that was certainly present. It was what had mingled with man, the unholy union, the forbidden intervention. Heaven could remain silent no longer. The divine patience had reached its limit. The decree went forth, echoing through the celestial courts. The Watchers, who had abandoned their divine post, who had taken human wives and corrupted creation, would be cast into the deepest pit. This prison, known as Tartarus in some ancient texts, was beneath the earth, a place of utter darkness where they would remain bound in chains until the end of days, awaiting final judgment. And their children, the monstrous Nephilim, would not inherit the earth. They would be utterly wiped out, their physical forms destroyed, their spirits cursed to wander, never finding rest, forever seeking a vessel, becoming what some ancient writings suggest we now call demons. Before the world was drowned, before the rains came, God raised up one remarkable man to deliver this divine decree to the fallen Watchers, Enoch. He was not a warrior, not a general leading armies. He was not a prophet in the way men typically understood, delivering fire and brimstone. He was a scribe, a quiet man who simply walked so closely with God in such intimate communion that he did not experience death, but was mysteriously taken, translated into the divine presence. What a profound testament to a life lived in righteousness. Enoch was shown the deepest secrets of the heavens, the cycles of stars, the gates of wind and fire, the hidden corners of creation. And he was told the chilling judgment of the fallen angels. Grimly, Enoch wrote it all down, meticulously recording the celestial revelations in a book, a text now largely lost to time, but still whispered of in ancient shadows and referenced in other sacred writings. Amidst this encroaching darkness, this rampant corruption, one man stood apart. He did not walk with giants. He did not speak with malevolent spirits. He simply walked with God. He was described as blameless in his generation, not perfect, for no man is, but pure. His lineage was untouched by the corrupted bloodlines of the Nephilim, and so he was chosen.
For 120 long years, while the world descended into chaos, while the Nephilim ruled with unchecked brutality, while the Watchers were chained in their abyssal prison, while men laughed, mocked, and forgot their Creator, Noah faithfully built the ark. Can you imagine the sheer faith, the unwavering obedience required to build such a vessel in a world that had never known rain? And then, inevitably, terrifyingly, the sky broke. Thunder cracked, splitting the heavens. Torrential rain, unlike anything ever witnessed, fell from the sky like judgment itself. The fountains of the deep burst open, unleashing subterranean waters that surged from beneath the earth. Mountains vanished beneath the rising tides. Proud cities crumbled, their towering walls no match for the deluge. The Nephilim, mighty as they were, with all their strength and monstrous appetites, drowned.
Their colossal bones were washed beneath the soil, buried deep beneath the earth. Their cursed spirits scattered into the unseen realms, forever wandering. But here's where the mystery deepens. Some ancient traditions, and even subtle hints in scripture, suggest that the Nephilim were not entirely destroyed, that their dark blood, their corrupted essence, somehow survived. Long after the floodwaters receded, the Bible speaks of giants once more. Enoch and his fearsome descendants, Og of Bashan, whose bed was over 13 feet long, and perhaps most famously, Goliath, the champion of the Philistines. Were these merely large men, or were they shadows of the past, echoes of that ancient corruption surfacing again? Could the sons of God have found a way to return? Could mankind have, through their renewed wickedness, invite them back? Or did something truly endure the great deluge, waiting for its moment to re-emerge? Genesis 6:4 states it plainly, almost innocently, yet with terrifying implications. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward. It is a verse few notice, easily overlooked, but once seen, once its profound implication is understood, it cannot be unseen. It leaves an unsettling question echoing in the mind. There was a time before the flood when heaven and earth collided in a catastrophic union, when angels fell from grace, when giants walked the earth, bringing ruin and terror, and when mankind, corrupted by what had mingled with him, nearly ceased to be. This was the war beneath the surface, a forgotten chapter of creation, a forbidden story, the secret that drowned with the world. This ancient saga reminds us that the battle between good and evil, between divine order and chaotic rebellion, is woven into the very fabric of existence, stretching back to the dawn of time. What are your thoughts on this ancient mystery? Do you believe the Nephilim survived the flood, or that the sons of God made a second descent? Share your theories in the comments below. If this journey into the biblical mysteries captivated you, please hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into the untold stories of Scripture, and share this video with anyone who seeks truth beyond the surface. Thank you for joining us on this profound exploration. May the wisdom of the ancient texts illuminate your understanding.